Alright fellas, here are another Pokemon Horizons video. We're going to go over the new stuff for Mega Voltage that has basically pretty much been confirmed from the Japanese panel, like with, I believe, all like the voice actors and like maybe some of the producers and stuff. I don't know about all this stuff. I didn't really, I didn't even know there was a panel, but I've mostly just been going off of what some people have been like talking about, and I wanted to make a video over the stuff, right? So there's been a lot revealed within this big Discord post here. This is a lot. But we also have some more information here where we can see here. We've got these videos. So April 11th will be a 1 hour special video, which will be episodes 90 and 91, which are called To the Skies Once More Part 1 and Part 2, which basically I would say is probably telling us that the Brave Olivine is coming back, right? And probably I'm going to guess the remaining members of the Rising Vault Tacklers, after Freed's departure, we'll say, into Laqua. Um, I would say that we're going back to that, right? And then April 18th will be 092, Follow the Signs of the Lockwium. Yeah, it's back. We were, if you remember episode 89, at the very end of it, there was a reporter talking to Spinel, and they asked like, what are the reports about these Pokemon going wild or mad or whatever across the world? And Spinel was like, don't worry about that. That's probably what that is. So the signs of the Lockwium, it's still around, despite the fact that the source of it was destroyed in Laqua by Terapagos and the Six Heroes. And then also Super Saiyan's a Nidothing fan battle, and yeah, so just probably something related to Dot, whatever it is, right? It probably one of those like not gag filler episodes, but like one of the episodes that's not like super big on like the main storyline, which is fine. We love those episodes nonetheless. But yeah, so we have the episode list here up until the end of April, and of course the series does come back on April 11th. So yeah, that's cool, great. We got that, but more importantly, most notably, we've got this stuff. Wow, not to like, yeah, I don't. I think a lot of this stuff is like not. It's confirmed, but like a lot of it's kind of I think based assumptions on like translations and stuff. So there might be some like translation issues here and stuff like that. So take a lot of this with like not a grain of salt, but keep your mind a little bit more open, I guess. I guess a grain of salt is probably the best way to put it. I don't know. Either way, this statement was debunked by the original poster. This user had debunked this somewhere. I don't remember where. I don't want to go through like their fucking tweets. It's kind of but still. Yeah, I wrote a paragraph confused Liko voice actor transition to panels from Liko to Roy as the perspective of the story shifted to Roy. Yeah, no, this is basically when the actor for Liko is like changing over to Roy for them to speak at the panel, right? So the narrative is still centralized on Liko as the main character, at least that we know of. Roy and Alt have been training in Kalos to learn Mega Evolution for a year. So Roy has been working hard, right? That's where his Mega Lucario came from. Obviously Alt has got Mega Sableye, right? They've been training for Mega Evolution. And hopefully we can get that with Liko and Dot too, but, we'll just have to see. It was pointed out that this person who has played Karina is tied to Mega Evolution. Cool. Yeah, I mean, we know who Karina is, so I guess Karina makes a return. Cool, right? Or at least, makes a reference, cameo, whatever. Roy is a lot more mature and serious, especially when around Alt. Has also made his voice deeper. I think this is the voice actor for Roy. So Roy is gonna like sound a little bit older, at least in Japanese. Don't know how English is gonna do it, but whatever. But yeah, but Roy is a lot more serious and mature, especially around Alt, because Alt is basically like a rival, but also it's more of like a mentor thing, is what I've been hearing. So that's very interesting to think about. That this new alt guy's kind of probably going to take up a similar like role to what Roy was back in the old season, but also just a very different character in general. It says Roy's growth embodies a sense of loneliness and sadness, like a child forced to grow up. That is probably sad. I'd say a lot of that's probably got to do with the fact that Freed is gone, right? I mean, after Freed was gone, the Rising Volt Tacklers seemed to have split up. I mean, Liko went back to her school, Dot's done her own stuff, Roy's gone on his adventure, right? It makes sense. I mean, Freed was like a big glue holding them together, so it makes sense that that's kind of what happened. Roy's carrying out his journey without the Rising Volt Tacklers. I mean, as we know, right? Ult is chasing the Black Rayquaza. So the chase for the Black Rayquaza has pretty much not stopped, but we obviously knew that, like, Rayquaza seems to have not been captured by Spinel. Crystal is empty. You know, again, my big theory is that Freed has caught it or something, and that it's in his possession. So I think that'll be something interesting to see. Although Alt is a rival for Roy, they have more of a master-disciple relationship. Alt's personality is akin to Roy from the past. Again, these are again mostly been what I've already been saying. So Alt seems to have this characteristic of Roy that, you know, probably a more like rash, um, rush headlong into things type of personality. We'll see more about that. Dot is a lot more reliable figure. Has been supporting Roy from home. I mean, you know, obviously she's got that like tech to do that. It makes sense. But also she's a pretty popular streamer. Clearly, if you look at her design now. Dot's wired headphones allow her to do live streams with no lag. That's not really that important. I mean, that's cool, but you know, whatever. Dot's mom will be appearing as well. Cool, nice. I mean, that probably makes sense to me because again, I don't know how where Dot is in the story or whatever if she's like still with the Rising Voltacklers, but it would make sense if she's not and then like potentially went back home or whatever. I could see that. So there's a lot of sad moments in this new arc, but there's fun moments too. That's mostly just Pokemon. I mean, it makes sense. A lot of sad moments. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I think the story is going to start out like kind of sad because obviously Freed is gone. It's been a year. They probably think he's dead, right? Or like something similar, like maybe harmed, who knows, whatever it is. It makes sense they would be very sad about that, and it also makes sense that more sad moments are going to happen because there's probably going to be a lot higher stakes in the series, considering the explorers are at such a high public opinion because of everything that Spinel's lied about, right? Alt's character was created in audition for around the time the fourth arc started. So around the time the Rayquaza Rising arc had started, we had gotten Alt's character being auditioned. They were already like planning out all this stuff. So cool. Only had a week to prepare for her performance as Roy in the new arc. Wow, that's not great, but hey, cool. You know, the flying by the seat of pants, right? Lilico's quite depressed after the events in Lockwood, but she'll get on her feet again due to the bond between her and her Pokemon. Again, it makes sense, right? It really does make sense that these characters, especially, you know, your main protagonist is gonna show the most sadness behind, you know, everything that happened, especially after it's been a literal year of like seemingly no change, nothing like that, right? Um Ult is not impressed by Liko and doesn't like her. That's I think we had actually got an image of this bit here. I think it's a little bit up here. Is it up or down? It's down. Right around. Okay, right here. Yeah, this little image. Guy is just not interested in Liko at all. Poor girl. That's pretty funny though. And Roy seems to ditch him a lot. So yeah, again, like this guy's big role seems to be like that annoying, typical like young, uh, well, disciple type of role, right? Probably a similar-ish character, I would say, to, like Barry. That's a big one. I think Barry's a pretty big similarity to this guy. You know, that makes sense. I didn't expect Roy to take up the role of like again a kind of master disciple relationship, but it is what it is, right? So we'll just have to see how it goes. I can see a lot of people probably not liking Alt because of all of what we're seeing right now, but characters grow, it happens. I'm sure by the end of the series he'll be a lot more beloved. I'm sure Dot was probably in a similar situation when she was first revealed as a character. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Having basically, I don't know about four main characters, but the three main characters and then Alt coming in as like another one of their like members or whatever could be very interesting. I'm definitely curious to see how they go about it. Obviously, there's a lot to go into this stuff, right? There is a hell of a lot, and obviously there's probably more stuff that's been revealed. Obviously, all the stuff's in Japanese and these translations, you know, stuff like that. It's so we might get more like information revealed as time goes on, but a lot of this stuff is some interesting stuff to it again. Like Roy's been training with Alt Ink House for a year. He's gotten a lot stronger. Ligo's obviously been going to the academy. Obviously, everyone's affected by what happened to Freed in Laqua. We have that still complete uncertainty of what's happened to the Black Rayquaza and Freed, and what's going to happen to the five heroes now that they are captured by the explorers. What are the explorers' big plan? And again, if we go to that big list of all the episodes, wherever it is. Again, I don't know if I'm flowing up or going up or down. Like you see, follow the signs of Lockwium. How is the Lockwium affecting the world? What's happening? Is this going to lead into Zygarde coming back? Is this how we end up seeing 100% Zygarde, Mega Zygarde, maybe Mega Rayquaza? Like, there's a whole lot we are still able to see a lot of in the series. It's going to be absurd. Like, I think this is going to be another one of those arcs, like the Rayquaza Rising arc, that's just going to be absolutely absurd and so good. It's gonna be one of the best arcs, probably story wise and stuff like that. And I hope that that they really like convey the characters well. Like again, everything that happened in Laqua with like Freed, falling and going missing and stuff. Like how does that really affect everyone? Not just like Liko, Roy, and Dot. How does it affect Orla? How does it affect Molly, Murdoch, the rest of the Rising Volt tacklers? How does it affect like Amethio potentially? Like hearing about that. How does it affect what's his face? Like Amethio's, I think Amethio's dad, right? The guy that is the president of Exceed, at least before Spinal, I guess, takes over or whatever. Um, or CEO, whatever it is. I don't quite remember what he did. But there's so much that can go into this, and just having this information is nice. Obviously, Horizons does not come back for another basically 2.5 weeks, a little under 3 weeks. So there's a lot we can kind of go off of here. There's a lot to go off of here, so we can theorize for the next 2.5 weeks to hold us over until we actually start getting episodes again. And again, that next one back will be a hour-long special to the skies once more. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on all the stuff that has been revealed from the Japanese panel for Pokemon Horizons Mega Voltage. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything you're kind of expecting from the series, how you think things are going to go, everything like that. I'll see you later. Hope you all enjoyed. Peace.